Okay, we right back with light book. Starting on 24. Right back. Right back, number 2. Right back, number 2. Here I am. As the scarcities to sharpen the expanded desires of a beating heart grow. Living can sometimes be a Prozac. You know, we gotta put some clarity on Prozac. Having the style or diction of prose, lacking poetic beauty. Living can sometimes be a Prozac act of having nowhere else to go. The corners get tighter, yet the suffocation does not kill. I want to believe a soul can retire, find refuge in a more permanent form of anamorphosis. Anamorphosis in the visual arts, an ingenious perspective technique that gives a distorted image of the subject represented in a picture when seen from the usual viewpoint, but so executed that if viewed from a particular angle or reflected in a curved mirror, the distortion disappears in the image in the picture. A distorted projection or drawing which appears normal when viewed from a particular point or with a suitable mirror or lens. The process by which anamorphic images are produced. A distorted projection or drawing which appears normal when viewed from a particular point or with a suitable mirror or lens. The process by which anamorphic images are produced. want to believe a soul can retire, find refuge in a more permanent form of anamorphosis where it cannot be threatened by life. Better yet, a life made up of work. Some way, it is your desires left over from your previous life, which theaters you to earth. I loathe the sound of that. Loathe. Feel intense dislike or disgust for she loathed him himself. Some say it is your desires left over from your previous life which dead you to earth. I love the sound of that. We die to start this life as one sleeps to continue their dreams. No beginnings to what ends. No distinction made between life and death. How is that not hell? I get the sense people want you more when you had nothing left to give. We live in a vampiric culture. Vampiric. We got our dead vampire, but let's put the clarity on. We really don't gotta put the clarity on vampiric. We already got our dead. Perhaps we had an option for a way of life that did not contain copious. We live in a vampiric culture. Perhaps we had an option for a way of life that did not contain copious. Copious. We need to see the copious represents. Copious. Abundant in supply or quantity. Abundant in supply or quantity. Profuse in speech or idea. I have been a little too copious in talking of my country. Okay. Abundant in supply or quantity. She took copious notes. Perhaps we had an option for a way of life that did not contain copious amounts of doing and consuming. Yet again, to attempt a base concept as shy as being is not for most people all that appealing. Life is all about recognition and power. Why are you still here if you do not register as one or the other? Go ahead, clear out that table, break everything breakable, tear everything, you can get your hands on. Do not be scared of the importance anything has over your rage. You are damned if you care about your soul. Lose your mind. It has a cheap price tag. Anybody can possess it. I had shared my insights that most have hastily summed up as philosophies. I want to die. Do I continue pretending to see what I do not see? To wake up congested with ill-constructed notions of what I must take up. In order to meet the demands obligated by my obscure wants, should a full life forever be tussling in my stomach, gutted and infuriated by the enigma. Let's see what the enigma represents. Because we flew past a few words that I would have otherwise looked up. But I don't want to be too tedious about it. And I want to kind of flow through the read, but still understand what I'm reading. Enigma. A person or thing that is mysterious, puzzling, or difficult to understand. Madeline was still an enigma to me. A person or thing that is mysterious, puzzling, or difficult to understand. Gotten and infuriated by the enigma of wanting peace, yet pacified by dying more than I already have. There are enough reasons for me to shatter, to miserably malfunction, and witness the strange creatures that can crawl out of me. I never quite fully break down, and that has freed deeper seams in me. I could not, of my own will, pull out. I have every reason to be unreliable, and I freely am. I do not give a shit about who I have to disappoint before I can get to a place where I finally take that deep breath that has eluded me for the longest time. I'm neither here nor there, bluffing well enough at times to convince me I could acquire in the borders of our systems the same ease found by others who operate vindictively within them. To the contrarian, war keeps. Should every pursuit be peace behind war? To the contrarian, war keeps. Should every pursuit be peace behind war? I would say so. That's me though. That's me. Roughening the rounding edges. Life favors humbling. My significant lack of wisdom and my gifted precision to seeks out harm. I've been summoned as a great testimony for the medicine that is being allowed. So I've been told I'm inclined to be contrarian in a vain attempt to avoid being collated. Let's get a clarity on collated. Okay, collect and combine text information on sets of figures in proper order. All the information obtained is being collated. Okay, collated. That's what that means. Putting all the information together. In a vain attempt to avoid being collated, I do what is opposite, not for the slowing of the speed at which I ripen, or halting my rot in its entirety. It is to make certain that gold of thoughts I hold are unmistakably my own, to make certain my voice cannot be drowned. I really want to look up God real quick. God. A medieval association of craftsmen or merchants, often having considerable power, an association of people for mutual aid or the pursuit of a common goal. Ecology, a group of species that have similar requirements and play a similar role within a community. A group of species that have similar requirements and play a similar role within a community. That's an ecology definition of Gauda. A medieval association of craftsmen or merchants often having considerable power, an association of people for mutual aid or the pursuit of a common goal. The God of thoughts I hold are unmistakably. It said, I do what is opposite, not for the slowing of the speed at which I ripen or halting my rot in its entirety. It is to make certain the God of thoughts I hold are unmistakably my own, to make certain my voice cannot be drowned. What is more beautiful than my impermanence, as I am reminded by others, the equal impermanence and equality. We put some clarity on impermanence. I mean impermanent, not permanent. Sort of like temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, not permanent, so like temporary, but temporary, right? I would just impermanent, okay, saying like you got a permanent, if you say it in a certain way, impermanence. The state of not lasting forever or not lasting for a long time. Yeah. The impermanence and fragility of life. She says that her paintings represent the impermanence of everything. Related were impermanent. Alright, well. Alright, let me see. We said permanence and equaling. One or present participle equality. That is the same as in number or amount. 4 plus 6 divided by 2 equals 5. That's what equal means. Equality, okay. Alright, match or rival in permanence or extent. He equaled the world record. Be equivalent to his work is concerned with why property equals exploitation. Alright, be equivalent to what is more beautiful than my impermanence, as I am reminded by others, the equaling of all assets to my station, makes my soul more malleable and tasteful, alluding to something obsolete and unimpeachable that exists underneath, waiting to be forcibly extracted from me. To be forcibly extracted from me. Makes my soul more malleable and tasteful, alluding to something obsolete and unimpeachable that exists underneath, waiting to be forcibly extracted from me. It should give me joy to witness my gradual mutation into being yet another gratefully dead kind of abomination. The future is shared, so I have been told. No one is born immune to surrender. The future is shared, so I have been told. No one is born immune to surrender. The soul pursues peace behind war. And I said, I would say peace. I said that's the purpose behind war. That's me. The soul pursues peace behind war. Peace is not in the all of the of fulfillment or despair. Now you know we gotta put some clarity on all of them. A deposit, a deposit of clay, silk, sand, and gravel left by flowing streams in a river, valley, or delta. typically producing fertile soil. All of you. Alright, but sand, some mud, left behind streams and rivers, valleys, and it's fertile soil. So right, good for the producer, good for the seed style, good for the reproduction. You heard me? Listen, a fulfillment or despair. It is in the apprehension. Peace is not in the all of of fulfillment or despair. It is in the apprehension before a reaction. The apprehension, pretty much captivating, grasping, catching. The idea, the plan, before a reaction, and then going, shooting it down, executing it through the action, but you already had it in your mind. That's what peace is. That's where peace live at. Peace is not in all of the of fulfillment. Yeah, I did that. Or despair. I haven't did it. It is in the apprehension of getting the plan together, getting a goal, putting it together, having an idea, formulating the idea in your head, what you want to do, and going and doing that shit before a reaction. It is in the apprehension. The apprehension means catching something. Catching what? Catching the idea before a reaction. Alright, boom. Peace is when we stand indistinguishable from the torture and the torturer. Peace is when we stand indistinguishable from the torture and the torturer. Learning that all is one. You are both in your world. You your own worst enemy. You are your biggest enemy. Burning in a flame. Oh, peace is when we stand indistinguishable from the tortured and the torturer. That's where peace live at. When you understand you are one. And you know, what you put out is what you get back. And peace live at. Burning in the flames of passion, knowing it is an illusion. Peace is neglecting warnings and overextending the measures that could save us from ourselves. Because you got faith. Peace when we realize we were too confident in our free, robust will and mistook ourselves that we could share even the finer parts of who we truly are to make those grateful prayers work. And true peace is unbreathable. I have an addiction to pessimism as I search out our authenticity. Please mention my name when you say poison after prose is my medium and medicine. The contrary and the poet reside. The contrarian and the poet reside. content and a bleak black reality. Without that grateful prayer, I'm told I'll sing eventually. Beggars can be choosers. For the contrarian, what is dignified? If loving myself does not avoid the euphoria of fatalistic thinking, or death, or life again, certainly it would not grieve me to say I am addicted to the thing that destroys me. War keeps, I am a victim of a crime which is phantom. Its senseless ways afflict me into becoming a contrary. Like that. Okay. Made for the sad things in life. Made for the sad things in life. Back it by the vibrance of the colorless. Our feet constantly caught in its fibers. The blank endures beyond the spectrums. Where the heart longs, aloof, constantly afloat on drops of eternal darkness, promising light to come and break it up before hope dies. But hope never dies, and that is the worst part. Why should I pour my good wages into the overflow of agony? The state of my being has found me wanting more of. Why should I pluck myself out of my sadness in fear of the untamed forces taking over me? I want to be raped by the darkness, infected with these diseases. I do not want to survive it. I want, my heart is of a poet. My soul is gaining a reputation of a whore. I grow fond of being ill-fated. What can go wrong? My endeavoring to be out of reach, delving beyond all borders and what they keep me from. I do not want an escape. The way I am diving into the unknown, I will break my head open, and that is good for me. Some choices are forced on us. They strike our spirit and stick like the blueprints for our destiny. We are the source of many finite and infinite divinities. We are a box of paradox without a lock or sides. We live inside it while simultaneously looking in from the outside. We, creatures made for the sad things in life, do not know how to make rational choices. That is, if we can have intentions of our own, we live beyond life and we can see with precision only when the light is gone. Okay. Made for the sad things in life. Yeah. All of it, yeah, but just open my eyes out a little bit more, just a little bit more than you are right now so far. All right, page 34. A forgotten watch. A forgotten watch. A forgotten watch silently counts in oblivion, rolling in a drawer that will one day cease to be open. My motion forward or backward, before or after, now or never, first and last endeavors are all painfully stacked within that drawer. Weighing heavily, I want to yank it, unhinging the fragile wheels from their tracks and carelessly watch the things inside spread out into the air like a contagion. I like playing in the chaos. I like playing with my tears, smearing it with my index finger, spreading misery evenly over my skin with a crass sense of gentleness to my touch, letting the aggression sink into my pores like the permanent scarring of thoughts that pace the same path in my head. Everything I want, I don't. I cannot mock this vicious cycle. It takes precedence over the healthier ideals of life. I have only known being a person that does not know how to live, how to enjoy the regular things in life. Getting my hair and nails did, going on hikes, sightseeing, traveling, going out to dinners with friends, watching movies. All these pleasures have eluded me, burdened me, and isolated me from others. The schedule for a mastered classic way of life gets on my good side before suddenly crumbling like a piece of paper. Before a smoldering fire as a roll captivates my intrinsic qualities of being a bad girl. All my efforts for a state of stability in my personality. Is consistently scoffed up by my society, my social bankruptcy. Good or bad, I will not pick a side from where I stand. I can only see the tipping edges of two cliffs. I am the watch on the wrist of destiny. I have no hands in my own, and I am constantly falling face first into the next thing. I can solely count the time until I run out of battery. Slipping through the cracks is my friendship with life. When the days do not seem to begin, yet they never end. Push me to the back of the drawer where I can fall into the one beneath. I'm not afraid of being forgotten. It hurts less than exhaustion from never fully being seen. There's nothing to look forward to. I can only imagine a simple story like that of a forgotten watch and a drawer. A life worth being envied. Yeah, that's cool. Forgotten watch. Oh, James at the end. That's cool. Yeah. You resonate with it, you're going to feel it at the end. Definitely. 37. The miserable self as it is. The miserable self as it is. Alright, cool. What is life but a furrow haunting the hearts of those who cling to the bright stones pattern over the sacred night sky? Even fewer of those exist. Estranged to life as foes, all coring to weep to the sky and mudded moans. Alright, we gotta put the clarity on all chord. We gotta put the clarity on. Alright, bet. Tune. Look. Tune. Fox Island. Fox Island. What it is, Fox? What it is? I love you more too, bitch. You already. Yeah. So keep fucking with that book, keep reading that book. Yeah, you fucking with it. Yeah, that shit dope. Keep praying too. You good. Yeah, make sure I include you on my page too. Alright, bet. You got it. 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 You got it, Fox. You got it, Fox. You got it, bro. Bro, got it. Alright. All cool. Going Fox, right? Going Fox, bitch. You still right here, but alright, aware of what is going on. Loud form. They were all corner with the literary sing. Fashionable, light, low fat, all current recipes. Aware of what is going on, well informed, they were all corn with the literary sing. Fashionable, light, low fat, all current recipe. Alright, back. Boy. Okay, even fewer of those exist, strange to life as foes. All corn to reap to the sky is mudded moons. The miserable self as it is. On page 37, okay? And it says, what is life but a funeral? Haunted the hearts of those who cling to the bright stones patterned over the sacred night sky. Even fewer those exist. It's strange to life as foes, all cornered to reap to the sky and mudded moans. Am I alone and wanted to stay sad and baffled by my inability to feel the pleasures around me? If this bedazzled sky can baptize our eyes, do I, as a prisoner of perpetual motion, have a designated scent to my suffering that can be sympathized, or am I just another collateral to the mowing of life? I wish to have a single night in which I dwell and belong, that neither space nor time could rip the undying nostalgia from being a home to me. A resting place for my exhausted mind. Would I still be here in my body if I had the option to flee? How often would I fall under the pressure of an eternal today? My heart dangles on a string, my heart of flesh wrapped in stone. Would it not be like God to give me everything I wanted when I do not want it anymore? The things that once had value to me, now they can only sit heavy if they can find a spot in my chest to be. I know only grief. Every time I feel happy, I find a reason why I should carefully remain in my sadness. God takes everything I love from me. I can't breathe. I am all alone. A raven crown and hangs over my head. I have found a cold stone throne. I sit and ponder away from the crowd, distant in the cavity of my own world. My heart is fat and densely fisted in my chest, unfit for its home, yet uncomfortably impassive like a pet rock. I am purchased by the abyss. I toss and turn as excruciating pains push, moans and groans scratching that escape out through my throat. I am on the long way down, never hitting the ground. Vacuum seeps into my body and makes it dance to the rhythm of the air being sucked out of my lungs. The stillness crushes my bones, forming me into something unknown. I am laughing as my tears fall, laughing all the way home. I'm not bought, willingly lost to all that finds me. My being is broken, and adorned with the essence of the deep. What used to be all of me. Now waits just a tiny piece. The hollowing and sanitizing interaction I have allowed others to have with me turn into poison. On their way out. I can only see the wounds long after my blood has drained out. Encounters with others pour over me like stale water against hot coal, making hope for love as disappointing as what I once thought I deserved, which frankly amounted to nothing at all. Encounters with others pour over me like stale water against hot coal, making hope for love as disappointing as what I once thought I deserved. It's what I once thought I deserved. Which frankly amounted to nothing at all. Page 42. I go into the saddest places in me to love the parts nobody else sees. I go into the saddest places in me to love the parts nobody else sees. 43. I've died again. My internal desolation hinges me outwards to take a walk in the city. There are many studio guests in the apartment, having come to see my husband. He indiscriminately neglects me as he bombards my soul with unbearable situations. It is silent brutality made to break me in or fuse me to his jaw. all while portraying himself as faultless and even cowardly, simultaneously watering down any reason I may have to be salty or gain sight into the strategies carried out against me, more so knowingly than unknowingly. I am beginning to know the torture of my mind has a purpose to get my body to fall in line for him until I can find the answer to where I have been all this time and what I am good for, if not to myself. I'm stuck indefinitely clinging onto superficial success or failure. Dying ad infinitum. My vows have become toothless and yielding. I am helpless against my nature that now abandons me when my need for purpose grows confining. Regardless of discomfort, I prefer to feel the soil in my ribs as I take slippery steps with my feet, threatening the gaps on a thin rope of bone between flesh into the deepest darkness within me. The screams of progress, lucidity, and freedom coming from the studio get louder as the weed smoke surrounds the living room. My vision is heavy. My mood is in my nostrils. I pull out my weed box from underneath the couch. I grind up a spliff, reading my blank thoughts with my eyes rolled back. I lick and seal the joint shut. I feel lost and into myself. My patience is running out. Every other climax that erupts in the studio leaves me with a sharp taste in my mouth. I leave the house, spitefully intending not to return. I will never come back. If only there were somewhere else to go. I'll take some air, I tell myself, even though it is not a normal thing that I go out by myself. Ambiguous resentments about the greatness of my delayed plans swarm inside me. My body is shaking like a hornet's nest full of wasps, desperate to fly out. All at the same time, I feel poison and imprisoned. I go on my walk, the sound of my strapped heels breaks through the buzzing city noise, bouncing off the walls of closed shops, highway bridges, and echoing into my hollow chest as it drills into the shimmering concrete of downtown LA. The soapy sky shuts its eyes as 6 p.m. turns into the evening. The click-clacking against the street makes my heart throb. I can feel my chest bleeding out through my feet. A nuanced take on life lives at the tip of my tongue during fleeting moments like these. It begins to sear my eyes and mouth shut. I reach above my head, clutching every breath into my delicate glass-like chest before it evades me. Everything is underwhelming here in LA. My shit life is in this apartment, relationship, and career remains stuck and airless within me. I feel watched by the emptiness. It embraces me at every corner on these lit up city streets. Everything that sparkles brings me down. All roads leads to nowhere. No one of value to me awaits my presence. My world is increasingly not worth enduring. I'm a victim of an infertile state that refuses to repot a weed. Ceaseless flashes of headlights cut through the road beside me. Life constantly moves on without me. Cycling. Cool. cyclical, cyclical, cyclical thoughts arise. Cyclical thoughts arise, and the vacancy I feel inside widens, ripping the seams of my skin. I am exhausted from feeling useless. What had kept me alive on previous days like thick, cold smoke is now expanding over the concrete before me. I am voiceless against the silence of the night dawning within me. Any faith in a way, I've held it. At the brush of wind is lost to me again and again. I'm close, I tell myself, walking further into the damp darkness. Every step taken is a wish for obedience. The wide rules beside me catalyze an appetite to expand my perspective on what I believe to be my purpose in this life. My smallness is staring cruelly into my eyes. I don't feel so wild anymore. I'm nervous. I shrink against the veteran role taken by courageous souls. My eyes long for the sight of home. Through my heart awaits adventure. I'm too weak to take on anything aside from comfort. Aside from comfort. I lie by the bounce in my steps that suggests I walk with purpose. I live lies, always now, to color how difficult it is for me being here. Alive, trying at all to do anything. I'm pulling teeth to be seen. Even when I don't want to be, I take my heels off and start running back to the apartment. I'll try out freedom on another day when I feel like I've died again. Quagmire. That's what the name is. This one is on 49. Quagmire. Okay, this poem, Quagmire, reads, we have taken up a cruel box as a home. Human investments in a jar, marinating away for a smooth and mellow finishing taste. Conversations can be excruciating, seldom brief, often orbital, draining and mind with dead ends. Sharing thoughts, if only to confirm our status as authorized contributions, entitled to a proportionate share of the resources of Earth. Our speech is restrained at best, coded with a double meaning or shy of what it is. Our speech is restrained at best, coded with a double meaning or shy of what it is originally intended to be. The truth is a blemish in the darkness of our imprudence. Silence digs its fingers between the neck and the tightest noose, sparing room to self-reflect, even if only to know what's spoken is thankless, merely revealing what will remain perpetually unsaid. My tongue is red hot and distended without a gag to abate the pour out of grievances settled in my stomach like bile. I don't mean what I am. I do not have a practical mind. Everybody wants me to be stable and reliable. Yet, the haste in the world, the many goodbyes, make me feel like a little girl with tears flooding into my eyes and melancholy wilting. My freshly plucked heart. I look to the foot of death, for she may spare me yet, give me care or touch me in a permanent sort of resolve. My value calculated financially waits whether I am worthy of food and water right now. I am as good as a pack to my enemies who happen to hold over me home in safety in exchange for my compliance with their unsavory methods. How can a human being claim to be invaluable while mocked by crimes responsible for inflaming our madness? No matter how far I escape, the start will always haunt my fortunes. I want to be heard beyond the flailing pursuit to drown my sorrows in words, and value beyond the means of money or what it allows for me to possess. Witness 52. Witness crying after the fact, after the act, after the swing of the axe, after the blood has cooled and curdled, when the mind comes off like a tipping hat. What a life started at the end of a bet. Days keep sinking, widening the aperture of mystery like a candle burns into black vapor. So are my years here on earth. My screams travel into tomorrow through the vacuum of my subconscious, and by the end of each day I hear them. There are moments when I force myself to stop, dead tired, having no need to preserve my existence or turn to my shadow with the illusion of a person. My desire to do anything is suspended, while I stand as a warrior of my endless childhood. But part of me remains that is not yet vacant, or a troubled witness in which the wind is allowed its whispers. Not one ideology can hammer through and save me from my spiraling pit, absorbing to spit me into the other side. Constantly, I seek the other side. I doubt I will ever find rest or light. I envy reasonable people. Life calls my bluff. Work is insatiable. Optimism is a stronger. The compassion is endless. I will stay one more day to bear life in all its meaninglessness. How the fuck am I still here? A question without a straight answer. These indissoluble murmurings break the surface, matched only by a deafening silence, a blankness over my thoughts that make them all seem senseless. Forget about it. Just contribute to society, they say. You make a difference. It'll all be worth it one day. I feel dead inside. A dense presence encroaches in my chest. A somber glimpse of the city rust illuminates my past like a mirage at dusk, when the little things I have clutched in my hands measure up to nothing against the hours forgotten. The remaining scripts in my brain and soul are devoured so I can move on. My blood filled with the seeds, my bones a sack of sand. I am a burning pirate, betrothed to the docks, open hands, Crying after the fact, after the act, after the swing of the axe, after the blood has cooled and curdled, when the mind comes out like a tip of hat. What a life started at the end of a bat. Alright, coward. $55. Coward. I had wronged my ex-husband in the past. There were moments I hated him in ways that felt unjust. However, I could only count the moments I wronged him. I had lost sight of how many times he wrecked me without reason. I heard him to even out the mellow songs life sings to me when I am hollowed from increasing loss. My stomach in knots, bargaining on whether I should die in my youth or sing for my survival. Through attention could be at the root of all my ideals. Does that make me a bad person? I do not have an influence over converting my thoughts. Some beliefs are stagnant, swamp-like, rising above my nostrils. If one could drown in emptiness, I have countless times by the time some other idea has stifled me. I do not realize I have turned into a new person, a poison of survival, employing avoidance. If I could have my head tucked into the small fat between the arm and bicep of my ex-husband, at the time, I would have. I wanted to be a little girl who can recline to his nurture, but there was none. I wanted to call him daddy, replace the flaky memories of my dad's care with fresh ones. My ex-husband was seldom dead, emotionally vacant. He could not protect me. He did not know himself. And when I needed him most, his empty eyes stared, felt as good as dog shit in my mouth. Lately, I wake up from eccentric dreams, usually at 7:21 a.m. this time. I was learning how to relax when a man who looked like my ex pushed his hard cock into my ass. I've always itched to be opened up. In this dream, I saw why it was an essential disease for me to have. That my reaction of this thing be dilated as I played role of a softened woman, one that can reveal things about me quickly. There is much to see underneath the flesh, so I grab a knife until receiving, and letting go becomes like blood perfectly known from an open skin. I find possibilities when I surrender the preservation of my self-image into the ground. Being sodomized changed my personality, even though it was just a dream after. How I designed my insecurities to not conduct my actions anymore. The reason for my confidence was held in something deeper that on the surface it seemed like I had none at all. I react to violence by arousal, a pitiful power that felt shameful before, yet in this dream, it set me free. Perhaps my flaws are my blessings. I tend to take the coward's way out. I let him plunge deeper into me. His strokes were lessons, each one clawing out something pebbly in my brain. As my palms and feet twisted into strange patterns, he poured out. I told him I had to poop. I felt cleansed out after. Not having to be perfect, just being a woman was enough. When I start feeling cowardly, I know the use of a knife. I think of that dream, how it made me feel young, hungry, and deserving of life. And for that, I am not a coward, I tell myself. I try to unsee the desire for my ex to count what little he gives me. So I give as much as he fixes. I wish I did not. I wish I were dull or numb in perceiving injustice. I can be an asylum for both of us when I am unloved. It makes the most sense to be the curse in a situation that cannot birth trust. Whether in this relationship or in the partisan nature of the people in my life, I have been encouraged to be a little person with a damaged will to live. Where there is love, I spot revenge. I am perpetually terrified of being left holding the bag, yet in the same breath, I dream of being as benign as those who have. I am a coward. Alright, boom, we're gonna start. We're gonna when we do this again, we're gonna start on 60. The poem called The Human Condition. We're gonna do this again in a few. I think it's 11:11.